capable of controlling the activities of those hoodlums that you took that wise decision. But to continue to protest, whereas hoodlums are literally taking it over, going to release prisoners, their friends, their colleagues at crime who are in prison, they are going to release them, looting police armory. I mean, you people had nothing to do with that. So it was best to just let the whole world know that, look, we have no hand in what's going on. Now, mischievous people who never believed in the NSAS thing, they are now saying, oh, you see, now we said it, look at them now. They deliberately are calling hoodlums NSAS protesters. They know what they are doing, you know. Mischievous. They know what they are doing. They are calling NSAS protesters people who are opening up prisons, just to give them a bad name. But it's not their fault. If they had withdrawn at the right, Yorubas will say Moja Mosa, Lamaki Konjulogun. And Bob Marley sang the song, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. There's still so much fight in you. There's still so much energy in you. You could have just withdrawn during that period. And so that once the police and the army see those running riot, burning banks and all that, they know that these are not NSAS people. They can deal with their decisively.
No, normally, I didn't see them. I didn't see these guys because the way my perception about them, they're not normal people. They're not normal people. Why? I checked out the BRT park at Ojodu, checked out the BRT park at Ojota, where a total of 124 buses were actually burnt. And look at that BRT. Look at how noble and novel that kind of is. From Korikorodu, the comfort of your air conditioned this thing, you can charge your phone
and with Wi-Fi.
And somebody will see it and you set it.
And it's for the masses.
See, for you to know that it's actually a deliberate and calculated assault on Lagos, on the economy of Lagos. I mean, the governor, after going around yesterday, I had the press conference. He said there was a deliberate attempt to go for the brand new buses. They left the old ones. They went for the brand new buses, and they have the medium and the maximum capacity for those buses. There are some that carries I think 37 people. There are some that carry, so the one that has the maximum carrying capacity, that can carry I think about 75 or 77 people, goes for $200,000 per one.
Wow.
200. One of those buses is $200,000, and from the statement issued by the Lagos State government, BRT buses alone that were destroyed is valued at about 3.9 billion naira. So, you see, insurance companies,
they're in trouble.
They're in trouble.
Big one.
Then, you see, we should be expecting more. You see, because it is a collective thing. It is we that we are here that will pay. Is the governor entering BRT buses?
Okay, look at the number of people that migrate from Ikorodu down to the
rail system.
We don't have a rail system.
We don't have a rail system.
So,
and the water system.
Waiting at the bus stop every time.
So,
the number
and the smaller, the medium and smaller ones, each one goes for $100,000. The exchange rate today is between 460 and 470 naira to a dollar. So if you do the calculation, you know what you know what you're looking at. So you can see the extent of damage. There's a time, there's a limit to get to when you know that you can no longer control. The moment they camping out, and I mean the moment government answered your 5-point demand, then let us wait. As up till now, the youth representatives for the polls set up in most states, we youths, we are still quarreling on who will be our representative at the panels.
Okay,
we don't have okay. So sorry, before I end, before Adekunle comes in. Now the government gave youth representative, government made it one. They said, they told the government, no, we want 2. Government acceded to the 2. Up till now, no youth representative at the panel. The panel has been waiting. Ebunwade Gorua, I mean, is known to all of us. I mean,
Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria is part of the panel. No youth representative yet. The panel was inaugurated since last week.
And there is no sign that they even want to
be part of
to even have any form of dialogue with government.
They
didn't limit their carnage. They didn't limit their carnage to the BRT buses alone. High courts, and I like, what's that?
No, one stole the judge. One stole the judge's robe. Whoever seen that, where are you going to use
the full regalia and he had the cabin with him. I saw it. Sorry.
It's so interesting.
They went to the Oba of Lagos. You saw the shoot.
Yes.
You saw the
staff of office.
Yes. You saw all the things, the money they took, everything.
Yes.
And you know, in the culture of Yoruba people, that's usually the most
sacred.
Those boys are.
Sometimes I wonder what kind of spirit drove them.
They took the staff offices and they were on the streets.
At the end of the day, a lot of a lot of unnecessary things were done, and exactly what happened, people predicted this what will happen. It really happened. What do you need? Honestly. The shoe of Oba Akiolu,
when you won't be able to wear it.
When you
are not a judge, can you go and wear the judge's robe and put on?
Can I carry the staff of office of Oba Akiolu?
What does he want to do?
I did not go to government.
I just recalled the Yoruba that says
they are just looting everything. When you see some of the videos,
how are you going to blow it?
The extent of looting. Honestly, if there is any way I can stop people from outside Nigeria from seeing those videos, I will do it too, because they will think that's how we are. But these guys do not represent us. That's not how we are.
How did you get here?
They blocked a trailer, an articulated truck carrying goats and chicken.
That's why it's here now.
That was one of those boys.
He carried two.
One of those boys carried two. He was backing a goat like a baby, and then put another one on his neck. I said, "What are you going to do?"
In my street, I saw people fighting of other people that they should take him there, that they want to go and take them.
What? And a woman was holding two stolen chicken without a care in the world. She knew she was being recorded.
Yes.
It has reached the point now that we have lost our capacity for
poverty.
Level of poverty.
Okay, the flip side of it, the number of policemen that we lost to this crisis.
No, we don't know.
We don't know yet.
We're not giving figure. At a point in time, I suspected maybe a kind of order was given to these policemen that they can't shoot these people.
Yeah,
so
they knew that they were under fire.
Yeah.
So the police leadership told them, no, as much as possible, don't even go around with your weapon. Don't go around with your weapon because of the tension. So when you see them, people will get angry. The more they see them, so as much as possible, they wanted the police to lie low. And they want matter to the one-time arson and the violence that we have now witnessed. So when they chanced on those RRS guys, for example, in their bus, armed. All of those soldiers and policemen that you saw on it, you didn't see anyone carrying a gun. They were not armed. If you are not armed and you see people and all that, you will take to your heels. Yes. You become just like them. And if they catch you, I'm not surprised that those policemen took to their heels. The painful thing is that in Lagos, the police has been so thoroughly demystified and demoralized because when you overrun a police station and you stole their weapons from the armory, you have now given the police a reason to think that they are conquered people. So is this same conquered people, are they psychologically prepared and positioned
to watch over
to defend us, to protect us
tomorrow?
When even they, I mean, have you seen policemen when they sighted protesters, they ran into their vehicle and took to their heels? Have you seen? There was a video of even one. He removed his cap. He was going to be left behind by his colleagues. He removed his cap and ran after them like a Ben Johnson until he caught up with the truck, and then they left the scene. That is the extent to which we have reduced the police, and we burnt, at the last count, 21 police stations we have set ablaze. They've killed some policemen.
Grammar School police station the day before yesterday.
Yes. They set it ablaze.
Ojodu.
They set it ablaze. FRSC, road safety. On that street, that
Yes,
corridor.
That corridor. Set ablaze. Orile police station.
Sorry,
I think
that FRSC is the Central Processing Unit for driver's licenses and plate numbers in Lagos.
Wow.
One of the busiest in Nigeria.
Busiest in Nigeria. If not the busiest. That is the Central Processing Unit for driver's licenses, and I mean the kind of equipment you have in that place. I mean it is networked, so you can see the carnage in that place, and people's cars
that were confiscated.
Set ablaze. To that grammar school police station, you see cars set ablaze. So these cars are not
confiscated by car, and I come on Monday. I tell you that my car
on Monday is gone.
So the effects of what has happened, I mean, we are yet to start feeling it. I mean, it's something that is unimaginable. But then, at a point,
the people carried out the attacks. So many of them can barely explain their actions. Because you see, a lot of people are walking around without their insanity being checked.
Okay.
You can't vouch for the level of their sanity. Okay. They are walking around. They can't explain their actions because we're analyzing what we have lost. You know, why some places should have need to steal a judge's robe. These boys, they don't know what they are doing. You think it makes sense? You go and steal a judge. Where are you going to wear it? Where are you going to wear it?
Is the oldest court in Nigeria.
Yes,
the oldest court is more than 100 years old. Yes. And I had the judge look at it, said, look at my chamber, look at my courtroom. I mean, you can see you can feel the pain.
Are you going to tell me the court, you know, is also another SARS or it's
okay?
No. I don't. Those ones have nothing to do with SARS.
Somebody told me that we're like sitting on a keg of gunpowder waiting to explode with these guys. I never knew that in terms of population, in terms of number, they are all over the place like that. It was when they came to bus stop by bus stop, area by area. I had able to drive. I was able to drive sometimes College Road down Peace, and some College Road to, and I discovered that as I get to any checkpoint, to just make I'm able to arm myself with 500 naira notes, and I get there, and when they see, they allow you to pass. They don't have any problem with you.
You are lucky. I'll tell you my experience yesterday night.
Sometimes they will ask for money.
But they're asking for money.
Of course, they will ask for money.
During the amnesty program of the Niger Delta, I told somebody outside, I said, look, they had problem in the Niger Delta and these youths. But since the federal government initiated that amnesty program under Yaradua, we just discovered that some of them went to Lead City University, some of them traveled, and they put them in 65,000 naira, and the program is still ongoing till now. And there's semblance of peace in the region. How will government look at these people?
Royal boy syndrome,
integrate them into the agenda in their scheme. Okay, let me take this. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still the NSAS special edition of Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us.
There is so much happening in the lawmaking business than what you think you know. Here in the Lagos Parliament, we track happenings within and outside the hallowed chambers, bringing you every detail you need to know about. On Lagos Parliament, you get the chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Adobi. Join me every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the Lagos Legislature. Lagos Parliament.
Several kilometers away from where they used to call home, trying to pick what's left. They x-ray the pains, the joys, and hope for the future. Join us this week on Community Forum as we spend the day at the IDP camp in Igondo.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We big in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews.
It's more than just politics. It's live.
Start your day with us live 6 to 9 a.m. every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
Words, facts, opinion. Is the orchestra who do not sway to the synthetic rhythm of opinion. The debater screams words trapped in tempos that run too fast to play back just as they falling and out of tune. Climbing a crescendo, men take a stand, testing and pulling, slamming the fact of each other, in and after the crescendo comes the climax, all notes quietly resting as the debates reach inference. Join me, Mark Otabo, as I conduct the symphony of debates on the Big Issue.
And soak for at least 30 seconds. Avoid contact with people's hands and hard surfaces.
Number 3, always sneeze into a piece of tissue and cover your cough like this. Step 4, avoid crowded spaces. Stay at home if you feel unwell, even with a slight fever and cough. Step 6, if you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, seek medical help early.
And while we maintain social distancing, step 7 and the final step is stay tuned to this channel to receive more updates on the coronavirus.
Winning program Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you from TVC News here from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria, and we are back barely 72 hours after that inferno. Now, gentlemen, let's look at the
even after the scrapping of SARS. You know, a lot of our people, even the governor of Sokoto State, who did not join his colleagues. Some of his colleagues. Yes, he did not join a lot of his colleagues from the. They did not that they wanted SARS to remain. He said Simply changing the name to SWAT means in the different clothing.
So that wasn't what happened.
Yes, because
no member of SWAT
decision that the IG later made that no member of the old SARS
SWAT
in responding to the fear of the young people that these people is just if you don't to join the new body, it means that you want a clean break, from the SARS that we used to know. So the families of all victims of SARS atrocities and murders and all. And then of course, increase in the wages of policemen so that they can better protect you and I. So that is the one that really impressed me of all of their demands. You see clearly that fish
persecuting
themselves, that some of the demands.
So we're taken by Governor Sanwo-Olu down to the.
I want to give a quick. They want some police. I'm not going to mention. They actually named a policeman in Abuja and one in Oyo State, who they say are very notorious SARS officials. The videos of these police officers went viral, so I don't want to further talk about that. But then they actually they wanted that to be revisited. Then they also said they want all those who are arrested in the beginning of the NSAS protest, to be released, which of course the government immediately came back from Abuja to ensure that those guys were released. Even when
Sunday that even wrote to the IG.
That is it. Sunday that wrote to the IG on that.
So youth and sports.
Yes, and also they went to say that protesters were killed. DPOs or police officers in charge of those divisions should be brought to book. The one I'm particularly happy about is the one that was seeking for a reform of the police officers and a better training and equipment facilities. You can imagine at about 5-6 years ago, a police officer in training, feeds with 150 naira a day. I don't know how much it is now. I don't know how much that has improved, but which means then years ago, they can in the morning, 50 in the afternoon, 50 at night, and you need to see the deplorable state of the barracks where they live. So what do we expect from this kind of a police officer? So these are very genuine demands which they made, and a lot of Nigerians rallied behind these youths and actually clapped for them before all hell went loose. When 23 for 23.
Adekule, the 5.
I pity them. Of course, many of us, various sectors, we also complain about poor, job. You look at their salary, you see a constable per month, a corporal 52k, sergeant 62, inspector, depending on whether you have 32k, DSP 142. When you look at this,
that's
deputy superintendent,
142,000.
and you will not believe it.
It will take you how many years to rise to a DSP?
Depending on where you started from.
Okay.
Some people in their own career will not even reach
ASP.
Get to the bar. Will not even reach ASP.
Okay.
So for them.
Yes.
So the Rankafa is the army that now calls them the Rankafa. They form the bulk of the police, men. So we are saying we see our youth. I see them. I don't call them youths. I call them patriots. When you see people who are not selfish, we want a better, future for everybody, because when you get policing right, you get so many other things right. Yeah. So apart from saying reform them, do this, make their welfare the priority, one of the priorities of government, which is a very valid thing. Thank God President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the appropriate authorities to work this out. I believe it's something the president can just sit down and do proclamation that I'm hereby giving so amount of so, he would have done it.
At the end of this remuneration thing in the last 2 years, honestly, this thing that
this is the current thing.
In the last 2 years, I've seen it online. I thought it would have been implemented by now. From it is disturbing. We said it in our last program. If you take a trip from Roger, the way they call it.
Yes, because as I've said before on this program, the culture of giving returns is very strong in it.
Returns?
Yes, giving the people stay at checkpoints, make money, and give their gas part of what they made.
In the office?
Yes, that's return. People ask to be posted to SARS.
Oh,
yes.
The SARS?
Yes. SARS, people in SARS, they make money. In fact, a lot of other policemen don't really like them because they oppress other policemen because of the quantum of funds at their disposal. So people lobby to be posted to choice within the police. You have to give returns. The police is so thoroughly underfunded that they have no choice but to seek extra legal means of running
police
their commands. For example, if one's interest, quarterly interest, is naira 34,000. From the 1,000 to buy fuel for the patrol vehicles. From the 34,000, you are going to buy stationery. You send people to go for training. 34,000 to fund them. You maintain, give them money in the course of the training. But if you fail to give these people the money, how do you then expect them to survive? So the police has structures to deal with issues of extortion on our roads. But corruption also makes it difficult for those units that, like the S-Squad or the IG's monitoring team, to carry out their functions, because at the end of the day, they get bribed. And then sometimes a big man could call that, look, that person that you have arrested, that policeman is my boy, release him. So these are the problems that we have. Somebody was saying the other day that you want police patrols to happen. Who funds Those were, do you know that sometimes they rent even buses, yellow buses,
yes,
to do their own patrol?
They hijack rents.
Yes,
hijack, so
yes.
that after the operation, they can give the driver something.
Yes, they will give the driver something.
Yes.
You know, go to some police stations, you see disused cars littering the landscape. No tires, some of them have no tires. They need money, if not for the Dangotes of this world, who have made funds available. Lagos state government, through their scheme that the private sector supports.
Yes,
you know?
Security trust fund.
Somebody told me that in the whole of this country, I don't want to mention the number of functional police APCs, armored personnel carriers, that are working. You can see why protesters will be misbehaving. I mean, hoodlums will be misbehaving, because even the capacity of the police to defend itself in the face of threats from hoodlums has been limited, because they don't have the equipment to work with. They don't have the funds to even carry out routine patrols. So we have so thoroughly left the police, abandoned the police.
Allow us to quickly break this news that a 24-hour curfew has been imposed in Osun State. That there's, as a result of heavy looting going around that state. Gentlemen, it's mind-boggling. Lagos State just went through, you know, something like this.
They went to Ede. The boy was even calling all
the shopping malls in Osun State, the major shopping mall in Osogbo has been overrun by these hoodlums.
Yesterday, I was showing.
So there's a 24 hours curfew.
Yes, I was showing you a video. Now they are looking for warehouses. Now they are
even
finished.
Ekiti too. They are looking.
In fact, in Ekiti, it's the case, and I feel very.
They are going to eventually kill themselves.
They went to a silo. They thought it's a warehouse. I mean, I know where. I mean, it's located along Abuad University Road. They went to a silo where fertilizer, farm grains meant for the planting season.
Yes.
That has been treated with herbicide. Rice. I mean, yes, rice. Maize and cowpea. We call beans, cowpea. They went there and they were. Now the government had to be begging, please don't consume these things. So that it has already been treated.
Your stomach will be swollen.
They took Gamma 20. They thought it's the fertilizer. Some of them were they took the fertilizer. No, fertilizer is whitish. They thought it's Gary.
No, they will know it's Gary now.
No. But
they will know if it's Gary now.
Why would somebody go and be looting fertilizer?
Maybe he wants to use in his farm, or he will sell it. If I see Gary, I will know now. Because our viewers will be saying this is assault.
No. But what of the maize that has been treated? But you know, before you.
No, I will say they will wash it with hot water and all that.
They will eat it like that.
You must know that. There is a rule.
This is a serious problem.
There is an enabling rule, you know, level of poverty is playing all of this. It shows that.
I disagree that this is poverty.
No.
There is this mentality that's one area. Mentality I must take from government.
That's one area.
Sometimes the boys were calling. Look at that one in Eden.
Meaning, we cannot finish it. It's
calling other people to come and loot.
There's a particular one. He said, I am the one that opened this place. Show my face. Look at Indomie. Now he was hitting his head on the Indomie cat. He said, yeah, I want to die here. I mean, come and see the way people were. And these are things meant for everybody.
The level of poverty.
Hunger and poverty.
The next one is not certain.
No, it's brigandage.
This is not poverty.
Why is it that this is just a case of people exploiting the pervasive
poverty?
No, state of lawlessness. You know, insecurity to just begin to do what ordinarily, like 3 weeks ago, they couldn't have contemplated. I mean, you are looting. Looting is not protest. It's not protest. It's outright stealing.
No, that's not protest.
It's stealing. It's still it's brigandage. And the way they are going about it, they deserve to be fired at. Because, look, if you are protesting, you know, even Trump said it. Now he said, you can go around protesting. I have no issue with that.
Talk about my president like
but
that.
if you then throw projectiles at a policeman, then you could be fired at. You want them, you know. So the way it is now, everybody, these guys think that, look, this is an opportunity to loot. They are hunting for warehouses everywhere. There's even a joke now that people are saying, look, if you don't bribe me, I will tell people that your house is a warehouse. So that people will come and raid you. So those ones then start begging, please, so don't put my house address on the internet. My house is not a warehouse. Anywhere that people think that there's a warehouse, they will go there. Whether it is insecticide-treated, herbicide-treated grains in Bimo that is there. They don't want to know.
It's not
Because
anymore.
I want to ask again, what really is the catalyst for this violence? Burning of police station, attack on policemen. What is the motivating factor?
There are different motivating factors. The criminals, there are some who set out to release their friends who are in detention, in police cells and in correctional facilities.
That is
there are
ambitious.
some because the
Without
criminals.
the active connivance of an insider.
No, it's not.
I thought our prisons are well fortified.
Yes. Why didn't they succeed in Ikoyi? The security is top notch. They taught them back. It's not every prison that they can overrun, but prisons, criminals overrunning prisons is not new in our country. It's really not new. Look at Kotonkarufi prison, for example. At least I know that on at least 2 occasions they've overrun that prison and they will release their.
Kotonkarufi where?
In Kogi State, near Lokoja, they will release their people. Sometimes if you arrest high profile, it even happened in Port Harcourt. You know, it happened in Port Harcourt during Amechi's time as governor. They came with dynamite. They blasted the prison door open, and they released their
militants.
Yes, those militants released their leader who was being detained there. So the security at correctional centers must be top notch. Otherwise, we will risk allowing hardened criminals to return.
The one of Benin, with I don't know how many people were unleashed.
The style they used in Ikoyi prison, it was even the inmates themselves that started the fire, thinking it will create the pandemonium for everybody to, so that they can escape.
They changed their wise.
But the authorities quickly, called for.
It was a deliberate attempt. It was a calculated attempt with some outsiders. What they did was, according to the head of the Ikoyi correctional facility, he said they went for the records office. That's where the fire started from. But forgetting that all the records there has been digitalized. That Ikoyi prison, there's just an effort in futility.
Okay.
Now,
so that if they escape, they won't be able to trace them.
He said they went for that place. That's where they set ablaze at first, so that there are other co-conspirators who are now howling around, waiting for the pandemonium inside to escalate. And you could see
So that
from the area shots of the place where, they were running inside that, but the detachment of military men from the Dodam barracks, quickly moved in and were able to.
All right, we'll take just another break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still the special edition of Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please don't go away.
Than what you think you know. Here in the Lagos Parliament, we track happenings within and outside the Hallowed Chambers, bringing you every detail you need to know about the state legislature. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Adebi. Join me every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the Lagos Legislature. Lagos Parliament, bringing the legislature closer to you.
Words, facts, opinion is the orchestra of these men who do not sway to the synthetic rhythm of opinion. The debater screams words trapped in tempos that run too fast to play back just as the instruments fall in and out of tune. Climbing a crescendo, men take a stand, testing and pulling, slamming the fact of each other in and out. After the crescendo comes the climax, all notes quietly resting as the debates reach inference. Join me, Mark Otabo, as I conduct the symphony of debates on The Big Issue.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We cover the big political stories in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews, travel news, and much more.
Nigeria, it's more than just politics. It's live.
Start your day with us live 6 to 9 a.m. every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
Several kilometers away from where they used to call home, trying to pick up the pieces of what's left. We x-ray the pains, the joys, and hope for the future. Join us this week on Community Forum as we spend the day at the IDP camp in Igondo in Lagos.
Business lives on the fast track of numbers. Business is a strange world where low numbers mean something different. And its currency are speed and time. Finding the open doors of Main Street is not just good business, it's the start of the business. Join us every weekend on Business Week.
There is so much happening in the lawmaking business than what you think you know. Here in the Lagos Parliament, we track happenings within and outside the Hallowed Chambers, bringing you every detail you need to know about the state legislature. On Lagos Parliament, you get a chance to meet the lawmaker of the week. Events are critically reviewed. You can also observe plenary in Yoruba language. I am Abimbola Adebiyi. Join me every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. as I take you through the activities of the Lagos legislature. Lagos Parliament, bringing the legislature closer to you.
Voted as the best TV station of the year, TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen. Following all nationwide big and impactful stories, we tell the news from every perspective, covering every human angle. I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch.
Words, facts, opinion is the orchestra of these men who do not sway to the synthetic rhythm of opinion. The debater screams words trapped in tempos that run too fast to play back just as the instruments fall in and out of tune. Climbing a crescendo, men take a stand, testing and pulling, slamming the fact of each other in and out. After the crescendo comes the climax, all notes quietly resting as the debates reach inference. Join me, Mark Otabo, as I conduct the symphony of debates on The Big Issue.
Yes, we are back. This is TVC News. Just 72 hours after the attack on our headquarters here in Lagos, Nigeria, we are back on here and we are better. This is a special edition of Journalist Hangout, and we're dedicating this edition to the NSAS protests across the country. Gentlemen, this is not restricted to Lagos. We spoke about Lagos, we spoke about Osun, and right now a 24 hours curfew has been declared in Osun states. Now some other states actually caught the bug from Lagos and it's degenerated.
Yeah, it began to really degenerate in I think Edo State. That was where prisons were first.
A 24-hour curfew was declared too.
And they showed them dancing even while the curfew was supposed to be effective. The boys were dancing in the night and saying we are celebrating the curfew.
They actually hijacked the Caterpillar, Caterpillar had moving equipment, and they packed themselves inside and said, yes, this is the curfew, we have upgraded.
You know when I started fearing, those people from Edo, the youths in Edo, before this whole thing blew open and the crisis began, there was a policeman armed with his AK-47, and this Edo youth was flogging him with a belt. You saw somebody carrying a gun and he was warning, if you shoot, and he was flogging him. At a point he even wanted to give him a dead boot. I said, what is going on?
Are you sure that's not drama skits?
It will be strange to you, but that was at the end. It was the policeman that ran away from him because there were so many that he knew that if he tried to shoot them, and some of his colleagues were now pampering the boy and calming him down, this and that. But you see, even in Kaduna, we had this protest. We had this protest early. We had this protest in Plateau, where the governor claimed that they wanted SARS. We had this protest. You know, they eventually had to, even Plateau had to impose a curfew because they went to Ahmadu Bello Way. They even attacked the Terminus Market.
Yeah,
you know,
and Jos.
So the people protested against SARS in Plateau State. Lalong just happens to be the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum.
Yeah.
He knows that in his state, his people did not really want SARS. But the governor was talking about Northern. How many of the Northern state governors? Because I remember that Tambua is the governor of a far northern state, that's Sokoto. Tambua does not want SARS to continue. He said it. You know, he even issued a statement that replacing SARS with SWAT is like changing the rope of SARS. So the truth is, the protest went to Kaduna, went to Kwara. So a lot of the northern states too took part in the protest. Some became violent, like we have seen even in Kano. The protest was violent in Kano at some point, and then Plateau too. You know, then we've seen some of the eastern states like Enugu. You know,
where they,
violent protest. So it's not a southwest.
Rivers. They went to pull down.
Rivers has been really bloody.
The governor had to prescribe. I mean, you know, IPOB is prescribed already. They had to issue an executive order to also further prescribe.
Remind them that it's prescribed.
That he doesn't want to see them move or do demonstration.
They also attack police stations
anywhere.
Why the whole thing went really haywire was, I mean, you see, after the first 5 or 6 days of the original NSAS protest, then all hell was let loose. Like in Enugu, for example, you know, they went to destroy the statue of Nnamdi Azikiwe, saying that he is the person that caused their problems. I don't know how that add up, or how you relate that to NSAS or the 5 for 5 or 10 for 10 or even the 23 for 23 demand. And if you take it further to states like Osun, where they went to loot in Ede and Osogbo and also Ilesha, warehouses and properties of individuals. I mean, then take it to, of course, we've discussed that of Ekiti. Even in Oyo State, it took the governor of Oyo State to go and appeal to them at Iwo Road when they mounted a barricade. And I mean, they were really charging. They wanted to start destroying property in Oyo State. So we can go on and on and on, like in Edo, the one we've said earlier, where prisoners were when they got out, when they were released, or rather, quote unquote, when they escaped, they had to. I mean, they're showing themselves on camera. I don't know what got into them. Say, thank God, though, these people won't put me for life. See me, I don't come out. I thank God. You see my face, I thank God. I mean, there was a particular one, a serial. I mean, it's a serial killer, and another one, a kidnapper. I mean, that people know very well. I mean, coming on camera to say they thank God that they have escaped. I mean, you see the way they were jumping the high walls of the prison. So, beyond the first 5 days, I think the whole protest, the genuine protest collapsed and hoodlums took over. And all manners of interests. I mean, even ethnic bigotry setting. I mean, politicians used the opportunity to, at least, to call the government of the day a bad name, to be able to, I mean, weaken them. But I also see failure of intelligence gathering here. I mean, in Nigeria, like Jide said earlier, there is no way anybody can sustain a protest peacefully beyond the first 5-6 days. It will degenerate because we live on daily pay. We live on daily income. So about 60 to 70, if not 80% of the population live on daily income. So the moment a protest goes beyond 4 or 5 days, it will degenerate, it will lose focus. Especially given the fact that the feminist group, who are the major sponsors of this of the NSAS, at a point pulled out, and they even said they didn't have a leader who can sit on the negotiation table. There is no protest in the world that will not end, even worse, end up on negotiation tables. So what are we talking about? I think I blame our youths for not
inexperience.
I think I see inexperience. They didn't handle that area very well.
Everything must, everything must.
And at the time, the feminist group now collapsed the NSAS protest to say that they have adjourned and they will come back again. The thing has gone way beyond them.
And I think there was even an opportunity when Dr. John Abba organized a town hall between the youth and the IG. Falls was supposed to attend. At the last minute, Falls pulled out.
Yeah.
That was a lost opportunity to be able to tell the IG eyeball to eyeball and look, these are our grievances. These are your officers who have been killing Nigerians and all that.
Well, on the final notes, a rather unfortunate incident that happened last Wednesday, and like when TVC News was actually established, we had the best studio in Africa.
Yes.
We had the state-of-the-art equipment. I've been to South Africa Broadcasting Corporation. It's not as sophisticated like what
even the
we
former
had.
The former chairperson of OAU, Dlamini Zuma, said it when she came here.
All the guests we've been having here, anybody that came to TVC, you know that it's the center that it was the best, exceptional, one of the best in Africa. This is what they made of it last Wednesday. You know, we're talking about the mental capacity of these guys, because by the time you see a kind of edifice like this and something that's around,
and you think you should set it ablaze,
with over 400 employees that are feeding their families from this institution and this organization, I mean, and we had the state-of-the-art equipment, our studios,
everything's
everything gone, went down, rubble to rubble, and 64 vehicles were burnt. That's
look at this, our newsroom.
Newsroom. Now, if you do a comparative analysis of the old newsroom, our newsroom, and what you have here, you can't phantom that this is.
You can never imagine that the destruction could be
the state-of-the-art newsroom that anybody will enter, the studio, the partitioning between the newsroom and our studio, fantastic, excellent work of art, gone and leveled to this state. This guy's
key. I didn't recognize I wanted to even recognize my office.
I think this should be the control room upstairs. Car room. Card room, yes.
Card room,
yes, upstairs, yes. Yes. And those equipment, multi-millionaire equipment.
Multi-billion.
Billion, just went down, and quite unfortunate.
I said I was trying to recognize my office, last night, and the only hint that I found was my mug. It was still sitting on the carcass of my refrigerator.
Clay.
Yes, so it didn't burn. It was that mug, red mug, that made me to realize, oh, this is where my office used to be. All my books gone, all the awards that I kept in the office gone, and documents and things that one had planned to do in future.
Everything leveled.
Just gone. But we are alive.
Yes.
We are alive. That is what matters the most.
And they thought they could silence us. And then this is less than 72 hours after. We are here now, and Nigerians are watching us.
Yeah, it's rather unfortunate, but I think this is also a lesson to all of us that we must always be able to separate a genuine protest from, acts of
wickedness.
This is wickedness. Sheer wickedness.
Honestly,
this is wickedness.
This is the newsroom.
Because
this is the angels on the left.
Like Yusuf was saying, a back room before we came here.
Department.
The guys that went to the Nation. You were telling us that.
Yes. Just like the indomitable spirit of people in the TVC and the management, when you fell down and you rise up again. Beautiful. When they came to the Nation, these were not protesters.
The car park. We lost
those who came to the Nation.
Yes,
they were not.
Obi van. We had 3 Obi vans out there.
Outside broadcasting.
Yes, outside broadcasting. 4 Obi vans, and we actually reduced to this. And even the second car park. This is our staff bus. Staff bus that take people to Ikorodu, take people, convey people to different places.
A total of 44.
So you see those Obi vans. They are usually parked at the same spot. So all those these are the Obi vans.
So actually they even went to the second car park. They didn't burn those cars, but they ensured that they shattered the windscreen and all the glasses, all the vehicles in the second car park. They ensured that they touched everything. This thing was not carried out in 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
They had all the time in the world.
It took time.
They had all the time in the world to loot. They went to our makeup room and stole women's garments, women's dresses. Only God knows what they want to do with. Is that not
the former vice chairman of the All Progressive Congress? That is Cardinal James Odumbaku. His house too was affected.
Just outside our ward. That's the house. Far there.
Also affected.
They also destroyed it.
They call him Babaito. The house was also touched.
So you see that clearly. I'm trying to see if that's my office. You see clearly.
These are not the protesters.
Political connotations.
No, from what
I was trying to give you an example of what happened in the Nation. They just came from nowhere. They were on bikes. And they carried gun. Absolutely, I can tell you, they didn't even understand the local language. So they didn't even know the terrain they were going. They didn't know the address. So they had passed before they started, so they now saw the sign, the Nation, they now came back. So they came with petrol in water bottles and they started, it's the building that we have problem with, they want to burn it down. And that's what they did. But immediately
they left in a hurry.
They were, you will see, as they were doing it, they were still afraid. You know, they didn't, you know, the nation is in a place that, you know,
right,
this
that place is potentially
spare part market. So it's a very busy place
close to
where you see people plenty. So, but what happened? The MD, the management, they'll say, oh, now we are done. We must rise up again. And the second day, we are out.
To their shame, they saw that the
we are
nation
in
was
the new
out.
stance again. So yes, you know, when you have good, you know, management, good leadership, just as what has happened, you know, in TVC now. Many people thought maybe in years you will not rise again.
Somebody was talking about December.
So that's why I quoted that famous Confucius that the greatest joy in life is never
nothing never falling, but rising every time you fall.
Yes, that's it. Man is great.
I never knew initially it was from. I took it from Baba Femi Awolowo in one of his writings. That in his own life,
favorite quotes too.
That has been demonstrated now, you know, to the shame of those, you know, who want others to, you know, to cry.
We are back. We are back.
We're back. Just next time, they've taught us a lesson, a bitter lesson, and
don't reveal next time. The strategy for next time.
No, I'm not talking about strategy. But the truth is, we are extremely grateful for the tremendous show of support and goodwill.
It's been awesome.
The phone calls that I received in
all
one
over
day,
the world,
I don't think that I can receive in a whole year.
I had to switch up my phone.
From the radiation, at a point I started having headache.
I had to switch up my phone.
You know, so
Till
a lot of them I cannot even. I can't pick their
from
calls.
across the
I
world.
can't send.
From
governors,
lawmakers,
so many of them. People, I was telling you yesterday that Senator Ike Keremadu had never spoken. I didn't know how you got my number. You were there when they called yesterday. You know, yes. So many of them like that. And we are really grateful
for your support
for the support.
And Nigerians, they actually came together to condemn this particular act. Gentlemen, Journalist Hangout is back, TVC is back, and we are going to start our thing again on Monday. And we are going to be here every day, weekday, to hang out and talk, carry out in-depth and critical analysis of issues of national importance. I want to start by Kuleshi Adekunle Yusuf. Thank you. You would have done this yesterday.
Yes.
You were here yesterday.
I was even attacked on my way back
midnight.
I was attacked when I was coming back.
Yes,
thank you. Those are the sacrifices.
They put broken glasses and, you know, knife to my neck around the Ilele. And they took all my money. But thank God this is me.
You can just imagine the dumping ground.
Could have been worse.
We asked you to join the League of MJ. MJ. Yes, MJ. I noticed that that store, very hot area. They were there throughout.
Yeah.
Best Bargain, they were in front of Best Bargain throughout.
Yeah,
and I was praying to God that God should not allow them to see Best Bargain.
That's why I said, I mean, while my heart was with people, my colleaves here, I also have another, the second part of my heart at my kiosk.
You didn't mention, you were referring to Ayoba was that radio station.
No.
Ayoba FM.
Yeah, he said that was what he was referring. He didn't give any hint, you know, that he was talking about.
No, it's actually Best Bargain Superstores. I mean, we have about 40 stores there. I mean, a whole building. I mean, I thank God that God has kept the place, and I want to appeal again to our youths for calm, and that we should not continue to destroy. I saw a woman, I mean, a lady, a young enterprising lady on YouTube yesterday saying that during the xenophobic attacks, her store was destroyed at ShopRite, and yet again yesterday,
those are the things that drive people to suicide.
She said she won't quit. That she will continue to fight, and that, I mean, she was
some things lead people to suicide.
I'm telling you, if you are not strong,
like when you go to Fagba, you go to Bode Thomas, you go to Admiralty Way, the level of looting, people's hard-hand money spent on their shops, you looted the place and set ablaze after looting. I mean, it's terrible.
Wickedness. BQ, we're back.
Well, we give God the glory.
All our fans on social media, they've been.
We also hope that our police will rise again from this,
and their morale will be boosted.
Yes,
they'll be able to secure us.
Come back stronger by God's grace. Okay. You defend us, you protect us. Nobody has the right to take the life of a policeman, no matter what. So we pray for our police. We encourage the government to do their best to let the police, especially in Lagos and Rivers State, emerge from this adversity a stronger Nigerian police force.
Okay. Now we'll leave it there. On behalf of staff and management of TVC Communications, we say thank you to Nigerians for your well wishes, and we say we'll start our regular programming on Monday. My name is Ayodele Uzubako. See you on Monday.
Several kilometers away from where they used to call home, trying to pick up the pieces of what's left. We x-ray the pains, the joys, and hope for the future. Join us this week on Community Forum as we spend the day at the IDP camp in Igondo in Lagos.
TVC News first with breaking news.
We cover the big political stories in Nigeria, but people want more than just politics.
Business news, sports naturally, but you need news to live by also.
Stories about education, health, personal finance, and hey, even lifestyle news.
Newspaper reviews, travel news, and much more.
Nigeria, it's more than just politics. It's live.
Start your day with us live 6 to 9 a.m. every weekday.
TVC News Breakfast. First, fast, balanced, and accurate.
TVC News first with breaking news.
Here are 7 steps to preventing the coronavirus.
Wash your hands thoroughly and frequently with running water and soap for at least 30 seconds. Avoid contact with people's hands and hard surfaces.
Number 3, always sneeze into a piece of tissue and cover your cough with your elbow, like this.
Step 4. Avoid crowded spaces.
Step 5. Stay at home if you feel unwell, even with a slight fever and cough. Step 6. If you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, seek medical help early.
And while we maintain social distancing, step 7 and the final step is stay tuned to this channel to receive more updates on the coronavirus.
Business lives on the
information that the federal government actually has disbanded the Special Active Robbery Squad.
When you look at how many times
wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Ada Gwegwe is a grassroots football coach in Bayelsa State. His posts on Facebook drew my attention